Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Be sure to subscribe to The Kim Jacobs Show right on YouTube. Turn on your notification bell to all so you never miss a beat. And guess what? Every time you watch, you're going to receive a real relevant and relatable guest that's going to share with you a piece of the puzzle on this journey called life that will help you be able to manage just a little bit smoother. At the end of the day, the Kim Jacobs Show goal is to be able to provide balance to the world, one household at a time.
Kim Jacobs Show. You're watching Kim Jacobs Show.
Oh, hello, everyone. Yes, it's the Kim Jacobs Show, and we have our very special guest with us today. I'll get you to turn your phone back around, Omenesa, and then we'll be able to pull you back in. I know you're like, don't have the queen being sideways for any reason. So I'm going to make sure that her crown is properly tilted upward before I bring her on the screen. I am so excited today to have you all here on the Kim Jacobs Show. And we have a very special guest for you today. And she is going to be talking with us about how we should keep our crowns upright and how we should be doing in certain circumstances and situations. What would a queen do? What would a queen do? What I want you all to do is go ahead and invite your friends, your family, your coworkers into today's discussion and say, hey, you don't want to miss this broadcast. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Go ahead and tag some people and say, hey, let's get here and watch this episode. What would a queen do in these circumstances, in these situations? Let's tag them now. All right, everyone, and we are back. And today our special guest is going to be talking with us about some things that will help us all, whether you're male or female, be able to officially adjust that crown, whether it's a king crown or a queen crown, doesn't matter. The point is you want to be able to know how to act in different circumstances and also how to have the outcome that you're looking for. So my guest today, I'm going to share some information with you about her, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull her in. Her information consists of, I'm very, very pleased to have her on with us today. She is a speaker. She's an author. She's also a proprietress, a CEO. She's an actress. This woman has worn so many different hats. So when we're talking about Omenesa, we're talking about a woman of many talents, a TV radio host. She's also a confidence and emotion coach. And she's gone from some things pertaining to some very dire situations in her own life, ranging from infertility to scoliosis. And so she has ascended above a lot of different things that have helped her realize that a delay does not mean that it is a denial. And so I am very pleased to be able to present to you today our special guest. And okay, I see you back there now. I want to make sure that I pull you in. Hello.
Hi.
I was like, when you first came on, I know you were sharing the broadcast and your crown was like sideways. I was like, oh, that's the queen. I cannot let the queen be seen like this. Our guest today is Omenesa. Am I saying that right? Omenesa Oruma Akomolafe. Omenesa Oruma Akomolafe. Welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show. How are you today?
Thank you. I am fine, thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for being here. I want to give everybody that's coming in a chance to learn about your journey. You've had some interesting experiences along the way, and I didn't want to just read that in your bio because it's your story to tell. So I would like for you to talk to us about where you've come from, Omenesa, and if I look over, it's because I'm trying to make sure I wrote it down a certain way. Omenesa, right? Am I saying
Yes.
it right? Okay. Queen Omenesa, I would like for you to just take us back on your journey and tell us where it all began for you.
Okay, thank you. Well, my name is Omenesa, and my middle name is Oruma, which is my maiden name, which is my father's last name, and then Akomolafe is my husband's name. I am originally from Nigeria, West Africa, but I was born and raised in Toledo, Ohio. Moved back to Nigeria when I was 3 years old, stayed there in my fundamental years till I was 11, and then I was diagnosed with scoliosis, and so we came back to America. Did my surgery, and I just went ahead and stayed. Went to college in Texas. I currently now live in New York. And
Wow.
yes, I currently now live in New York. I have been through so many things in my journey. First of all, being an only child. So I did or do have that syndrome because my mother is late now. And so it's just me and my dad. And just yesterday, he was missing her so much. And I remembered that I was an only child because I'm like, oh my God, like there's no brother and there's no sister to put all of that on and to put all of that load on, because I can't show that to him, And so I have dealt with that syndrome because it is a syndrome. Yes, there is a blessing, but it's just you. And my father has always told me, like, he's always told me, oh my goodness, like what's going to happen to you when I go, and even the choice of choosing a spouse was very strategic because I knew that that was a dynamic in my life.
Wow.
And so
Wait,
I've
let me
been through
ask
that.
before let me interrupt for 1 second, because you're saying some things that really matter to a lot of our viewing audience today. Being a single child is a syndrome, in your opinion, and what makes that be the case from your perspective?
Oh, well, like it is a dynamic, like how we have like the firstborn and they come with their expectations, and then we have the last child and even the middle child. Like they come with their yes. So an only child is all of these things. You are a leader, there's so much expectation, but you deal with a lot of loneliness in private because you can't show that outside because it's just you. So the Bible saying that guarding your heart, that is truly real for an only child, because I was raised knowing that I was only. I was raised knowing that. So I have come a long way knowing who's who and who's not who. I, so, and then being raised as a PK. So I also had that syndrome. I don't have that syndrome anymore. When you're younger as a pastor's kid, you deal with so many dynamics in the church and your relationship with God and your relationship with your parents. I went through that whole season. Yeah. I'm not there anymore because now I have an identity and a relationship with God where I don't have to go through my parents to have a relationship. But that was also there. It was a bane in my life. Yes. And then infertility. It doesn't bother me like it used to. Now it's almost 10 years. I've done an IVF for twins. I've done an IVF for triplets. I have had an IUI for just one. I have lost a natural conception. And so when you're a pastor, you're a singer, you go around and you're blessing all of these people, and you don't seem to be blessed in the areas that should be basic. Wow. Having a child is basic. Getting married is basic. Having at least an associate's is basic. So when you don't have a lot of basic things, there is a tendency to think that something is wrong with you. And the status quo, the world would also make you think that something is wrong with you because it's just not normal. It's not normal to be 10 years and not married. And I've come to realize, just meeting so many women, owning my business, having my organization, counseling women, there are even Black people who plan not to have children. And so I have found I have found solace in that. Talking talking more about my journey, I would say that my journey has been one where I've just been placed on a stove and really just placed on a stove to cook. But you know, like those type of stoves that there is a timer, so it's not hot all through.
Right. It takes a little bit of time to cook on the edges. Then it gets
Yes,
hotter in
and
the
then it will cook
center.
a little bit, and then it will completely die, like
Right.
for like 10 or 15 minutes, and then boom, it's gonna be hot again. So God has done that with me, and I've always appreciated it, but I never appreciated it the way that I appreciated it 3 weeks ago when I was now crowned, and everything of 30 something years finally made sense, because this was one competition that I did not prepare for. I had prepared for American Idol. I had stood in line for Sunday Best. I've been competing my whole life. I had just done Mrs. New York America in July, and now I prepared for that for 1 year. But by September 5th, which was the competition for this particular crown, I was broke. I was tired. I was physically worn. I had just gone through a procedure at the hospital. I was working 16-hour shifts, everything. And then the flood happened in New York. I
Right.
traveled to a pageant competition without a dress,
Oh
without
my.
an evening gown. Like, does that even make sense? Like, that's like going to a makeup show without lipstick.
Right. That's impossible. You just don't even go because you're not prepared.
It's impossible. But by the time I got into the hotel in California, opened the blinds, the store where I buy my pageant dresses from was right there. That's impossible, Kim. That is impossible that that type of store would be right there.
It is
And
very
so,
impossible. Only God could do something like that. Only God.
yes, yes. And so to answer that particular question, tell me your story. That was when, I was actually embarrassed that at 37 years old, it finally made sense to me. I was 37 then, I'm 38 now. It finally made sense to me that, wow, for 30 something years, this was the moment of recognition. And my preparation was not the dress and all of that. My preparation was the journey
Yes.
all of these years.
Mm.
And here we
Oh
are.
my goodness. So now you done took us already on a roller coaster ride, and we at the top, and I can't even imagine us coming down anytime soon. And when we do, we're gonna just raise our hands up in the air. Listen, you're saying that you had things that's happened that other normal situations that we look at as society as normal, having a child, having a husband, having this. These are things like that you talk about in a very endearing way, that you wanted to have children, and there are people that are on this planet that say, I really don't have any interest in ever bearing a child. How does that philosophy impact you and your journey in dealing with that?
It has impacted me positively because now I know, oh, okay, so nothing's wrong with us,
That's right.
because I see my period every month, and like it's a healthy period. Like it's not like a period that's like 1 day a month. No. So I know that nothing is wrong with me. Nothing is wrong with us. Like if God wants to give us children, he will give us children. I know people who don't have a fallopian tube and they've had kids.
I've had a
So
portion of my ovary removed, and for whatever the reason, and I was told I would not be allowed to have children. And when I came out of the surgical procedure, but I was able to have five. That's just God's choice and his design for whatever the reason. But I do also believe, because I got my mind right, that if for some reason I wasn't going to be allowed to have children, that adoption was going to be a real viable option for me. So I wonder, and I can only speak, people are ignorant when it comes to speaking about something that they've never experienced. So I've
mhm.
learned that now that I've experienced death with my son. I thought I was being empathetic. I thought, Omenesa, that I was being empathetic to people that had had children or adults and different ones pass away. But nothing that I said really mattered. Nothing that I said, now that
Mhm.
I've experienced it myself. So,
Yes.
what advice do you give women that have experienced infertility and they want to still keep their crown abrupt and keep the crown upright and in the right
Okay.
position with the right attitude, and
Yeah.
embracing that is God's choice to allow whatever to happen? What advice do you give women in that situation?
I would say that your heir is not your legacy. Your legacy is your heir. Your heir is not your legacy. Your legacy is your heir. And the moment that I understood that even if I had 20 children, we're not all going to die on the same day. So as soon as I die, God is going to ask me, what did you do with the assignment that I gave you? He's not going to ask all of us at the same time. And my children would be just a tiny little fraction of my assignment. So what is the bigger picture in your life? What is the purpose in your life? My platform now as queen for 1 year is Die Empty. Use all of your talents and use all of your gifts. Register your company, mentor your successor, make peace with all men, plan your funeral, and leave a legacy. You know, so when you get busy doing what God has called you to do, you wouldn't even have any time for children. And when the children come, thank God. But if they don't come because you're so buried and so passionate about what you've been called to do, it's no longer a bane in your life. I went through that season where it was just such an issue, and that issue overshadowed everything. It just overshadowed everything. It overshadowed everything. But now I want them, but I am so content at where I am. You have to be alive. Your neck has to be alive to wear a crown.
Your neck has to be alive to wear a crown.
The neck has to be alive. So if you're depressed, because I went through that. I went through depression. I went through hallucination. I went through cussing at God, cussing people out. I went through all of that. So, and all of that is sapping energy. It's like a vampire, an emotional vampire right there at your neck. And then it takes your life. Once your neck is gone, once this neck is gone, the head is gone. And once the head is gone, a corpse cannot wear a crown. So you have to focus on being alive. You have to focus on staying alive, and staying alive is not as easy as it sounds. Staying alive is hard because you have to deal with loving people. You have to deal with your relationship with God, being in the flesh and being in the spirit, and combating both and living in this crazy world. You have to go to work when you don't feel like going to work. You have to love people that you don't want to. You have to come to terms with your own weaknesses, and you have to forgive your past, forgive your present. Staying alive is hard, but I'm telling you, when you have a purpose, when you have a reason, when there is a reason for yesterday, that's why that happened. Okay, Lord, now I see it. And then you have a reason for tomorrow, life becomes easy. Wow. Life becomes very, very easy. And I'm in a place now where I'm just so appreciative of my process, because I can see that this steak has been well done. And I'm not saying that out of pride. I have seen my weaknesses. I have seen my sins. I have seen my own righteousness. And then I've seen my righteousness. I know the times I gave up, and I know the times I got up, and I appreciate that process, that I can still look the way I do, that I can still talk the way I do. I appreciate that process, but you can't even appreciate the process if you don't even admit that you're going through a process.
Wow.
And you can't admit that you're going through a process until you've accepted it, because then you're going to like the process because you've accepted it. It's like going to a restaurant and you know that steak is going to take like 40 minutes. You're not antsy. You're not impatient. You're just waiting on that well done steak.
Right, because you want it prepared a certain way. And so you just do what it takes for you to get to the end result of what it is that you look forward to happening in your life. Wow.
You just do what it takes.
Wow. Okay, so I am super excited that we have you here with us today. All of the information for Omenesa is right here in the screen, and it's also in your comment section. If you want to book her or visit her website, all you have to do is go to the Linktree /Omenesa, which is OMENESA, Omenesa. And you can also email her at, it's 4 O's, OOOORUMA@gmail.com. And if you want to book her, you can book her by utilizing the United States number, which is 914-426 5681, or the Nigerian number, which is 23480-3244-3433. And the reason I'm reading all of this out like this is because I have podcast listeners too.
Yes,
and
yes.
so they're not seeing the platform, some of them on iHeartRadio and stuff. Okay. So we're talking today with this beautiful queen, and she's talking to us about what would a queen do in different situations and circumstances. What would a queen do? So when we come back, if you have any specific questions, we're going to go to some of the studio audience comments and questions and find out what specifically would Queen Omenesa do in those situations. So share some of your situations with us, and let's see if we can get some answers for you today. All right. Today's episode is sponsored by Snow Legal, the Snow Legal Group. If you have not utilized their services, you're missing out on a treat. Attorney Kenneth D. Snow and his entire firm are eager to serve you with a trial that may be something that you're struggling with. It may be a murder conviction that needs to be overturned. It might be workers' compensation, all kinds of cases that they've had some recent victories in. They're in the North Carolina and the South Carolina area, and their phone number is 704-358-0026. Or you can email them at info@snowlegal.com. We'll be right back, Omenesa, and we're going to learn more about what people would do as a queen in different circumstances and situations. All right.
I'm attorney Kenneth D. Snow, and at the Snow Legal Group, justice is our job.
For more than 20 years, Attorney Snow has been fighting for justice and winning cases in the Carolinas by providing aggressive representation in criminal defense, domestic violence, family law, serious injury, and wrongful death. If you've been injured or lost a loved one in an accident, including tractor trailer or rideshare, you need the Snow Legal Group by your side, fighting for justice and fighting for you. Visit snowlegal.com. Call 704-358-0026 for a free virtual consultation. Located at 6827 Fairview Road, Suite D in South Park.
All right, everyone, and welcome back. And we're going to also learn more about Silver Shield Security as we prepare to bring our queen back on the stage momentarily.
It's not just another day. It's a brand new day, full of all the fun, love, and laughter you and your family create. Silver Shield Security understands feeling at home means feeling safe and happy. No credit checks, no contracts. We offer payment arrangements, and we'll even give you a free door camera. Find out how we can brighten your day even more at silvershield-security.com. Silver Shield Security.
Right, everyone, and we are back. And Queen Omenesa, let me know if I can bring you back in. All right, give me a thumbs up and I'll pull you back on the screen while we're waiting for that authorization. Because see, when you're dealing with a queen, you don't just do any old thing your own way. You wait for permission. So this is a good learning tip. Don't just do any old thing. You wait for permission and do things decently and in order. So again, I share today's episode is sponsored by Silver Shield Security, 704-440-4688. And they are at silvershield-security.com. Let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you their way. Are you ready to come back in, Queen Omenesa? All right. All right. So here we have her back with us at this time. And what we're going to do is go to some of the studio audience comments and see what people are saying. Okay. Let me also let you know that Kim Jacobs Show is my desire, our team's desire, to bring balance to the world, one household at a time. It's through guests like Queen Omenesa that we're able to have people share their stories of what they've had to overcome in hopes of inspiring you to become your best self. Okay. And so let's see what some of your comments are. I see quite a few comments over here. Good morning, Pastor Clarissa. How are you? Glad to have you here today. All right. Good morning, Paula. Shea Queen Favre says to you as well. She said, you're just beautiful. You are beautiful. Just beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Yes. It's in the room. Okay. Let's see. She says she also shared it. Thank you so much for sharing today's broadcast.
Thank you.
Let's see. More comments that came in. Lots of tips from you have come in. So I make sure you go back and read these tips. But when you don't have a lot of the basic things, this is something that she talked about in detail. So make sure you go back if you're just tuning in and watch the replay to see what she's specifically pointing out. And God placed me on a stove. That is a profound point right there. And how that stove cooked you throughout to make you who you are today. I love that point. This is how you can stay connected. It's in the comments section. So you can stay connected right through Omenesa's link tree, and it's linktree/Omenesa. Okay. And then let's see some more comments. I see you, Music by Phil. Good morning, Queens. Great show. Yes, make sure you invite other people to tune in. And thank you, Music by Phil. He's blind, young man, but he also plays and teaches other people how to play musical instruments. He's amazing. He's a veteran and making no excuses when it comes to life. Actually, Queen Omenesa, talk to us for a second about making no excuses. Because I think he's a good example of a person that's made no excuses. How do you recommend people deal with the excuses that present themselves in our lives from a queen's perspective?
Okay. Yes. So from my perspective, and I've learned this from work because I work in the nursing sector, and I've learned not to commit myself. If I've learned how not to commit myself from the times that I had to go back on my word. So I committed myself and I said, okay, I was going to work an evening shift because I work the night shift. That's my permanent shift. Mm-hmm. So now I have been very careful to take on a 16-hour shift, which is an evening shift, because I have learned not to pick up the phone and say, oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this, because I've watched that pattern because I have a busy schedule. So my word and my integrity, my credibility, my what people say about me, it really does matter. And I know that there's this whole thing about what people say about you, it doesn't matter. Oh no, it does matter. Like when you do need a job, you would know that people are very, very important. When you are raising funds, you don't have a kidney, you would know that people are important. So I have learned to not overcommit myself. That's the secret to not making excuses, because when you overcommit yourself, you will make an excuse. And that excuse doesn't have to be a lie, but you just can't show up. Like, that's just the bottom line.
It's now, just not secondly, because you overextended yourself. So I agree. And so don't commit.
You have overextended yes. Yes. So I've just learned when I get that phone call, like I really, really look in my calendar. Can I make it or can I not make it? Because I don't want to be that person that's calling now. So that's number one. And then secondly is just show up. Really just show up, because milk has an expiration date. The good thing about milk is that we know the date. We can see the date. You have an expiration date as well. But it's not written on your neck. It's not written on your forehead. So because you don't know that expiration date, that's why you need to be more careful and you need to be more serious, because you don't know when that plug is going to be pulled.
That's right.
And just working in the hospital, I have seen and I've noticed, like, you know how sometimes, like, when you pull the plug off something, it still has a little bit of life in it. So it could still beat a little bit, maybe for 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Life is not like that. When the plug is pulled, I have literally been talking to a patient at 11 o'clock, walked out 11:10, the patient was cold. I didn't say that the patient just died. No, the patient was cold. All of that process happened in that very, very short hour. Do not make excuses, because you have an assignment. And that assignment requires you to show up. You can't write an exam without showing up. Even when you write an exam online, it's still timed. In fact, when you write an exam online, it's even more time. There's even more supervision. So there's no way around it. As long as you need to be promoted, as long as you need to move to the next level, as long as you need to be elevated, you will have to write an exam. You have to. You can't dodge it. And that exam comes in different tests. Yes. It comes with coworkers really pulling on your integrity, pulling on you. It comes in tests. It comes in your marriage. When you wake up and you're like, what did I marry? It comes with tests like that. It comes it comes with tests of, should I drink water or should I just eat ice cream for the next 3 days? It comes with tests.
And we fail some of those tests too, as you're talking about different tests.
Whoa,
There are
please,
sometimes
please,
that we
please.
don't
I have
pass
failed
the
a
test, but we
lot.
keep being presented with similar tests until we eventually pass it so that we can go on to the next level, right?
Exactly. So life is not just life is a big exam, but it's been chopped in different tests.
Right.
And you're not going to be able to open the next model till you're done with this one.
That's right. That's right. So speaking of the next module, how do you know that you made it? When did you recognize that you had passed the one test and you were going on to the next phase of tests that God had in store for your life? Whatever they may be, unbeknownst to you, how did you feel that was like a aha turning moment, a point of
Like an aha moment. I was watching my father's preaching yesterday, Bishop Ben Oruma, and the topic of that preaching is your breakthrough or something like that, or one day this head will wear a crown. But he said whenever there is a breakthrough, there is a breakdown. And then he also said that your last battle is your Goliath.
Yeah.
So that's how I've known, because it's going to be, the opposition will be different. If you're sensitive, it will be very different. Just like when I was going for this competition, it was amazing. Just how I did not have anything that I should have had, and the opposition was on another level. Even at the hotel room, my purse was stolen, and just like drama will be on a heightened level.
Like it could come in your way appeared, right?
Even your blood will turn against you. Major stuff will happen. People who are supposed to be there, their phone will be shut off. So how do you know that okay, this is that last test before that next level is? You would feel the opposition. You would know, especially if you've passed something before. You would know, oh, okay, this is a harder test.
Yes.
And the harder the test is, the higher the promotion is. It's just natural. When you're taking a promotional exam at work or for school or whatever, the first question you ask is, what type of test is it? Is it the HESI test, or is it, you ask the type of test so you can go on YouTube to study based on the types of, and then there's some tests, when they tell you the name of the test, like, you can go to bed because it's not hard.
You got that in the bag. So it's like, okay, I can talk about that tomorrow morning. I don't even need 5 or 10 minutes to get through that. I've known that. I studied that. He's going to bring it back to my remembrance, what I've already learned.
Yes, you have studied that, but also that also means that promotion is not as big. Because correct. It's a test that you've done before. Yes, it's usually a test that hasn't happened before. It hasn't come in that way. It's probably like the same opposition, but it's coming in a different way. It's masking itself in a different way. Yes.
I'm thinking that people are really learning some great information from everything that you're sharing today. So you're going to go through tests and trials and tribulations, as our beautiful queen here today is sharing with you some of hers, but you're going to get to the other side as long as you show up, make no excuses, be committed to the life that God gave you, and make a commitment to die empty. This is being shared with us today, right from Omenesa Oruma Akomolafe. This is her life, and she's sharing her story of what she's had to overcome to become who she is today. Wow. Okay, let's see who some other people are and what they've had to comment on. Let's see. You said good morning. Good morning, Queens. Great show. I see you. My cousin Nancy is on. Good morning from Word on the Street, DA. Word on the Street with Nancy P. All right. So thank you so much, Nancy, for being here today. If you all have any questions of the queen that's here with us today, make sure that you go ahead and put them in the comment section, and I'll do one further for you. If you want to come on screen with her directly, I'll put this link here for you, and you're welcome to come and be a part of the broadcast and ask your question directly. Let's see. Music by Phil says, "Speak, my sister, speak." He's like, preach. That's what she's doing today on this show. She's preaching a word. She's preaching a word that can apply to your life and be used immediately. Shout out to Nigeria is in the house. Yes. Okay, talk to us about Nigeria. You want to share anything regarding Nigeria with the audience today? Do you want to share anything pertaining?
We are freezing.
Huh?
Okay. Yet no, you were freezing like for 1 second. No, I appreciate Nigeria being a major part of my story, being a major part of my roots, my parents being Nigerians, me knowing how to speak the accent, me knowing how to go extreme Nigerian. I appreciate that I have a company with our African fabrics, and I wouldn't have been able to have that if I didn't know anything about Nigeria. I appreciate our Nollywood movies. We are #3 now in the world. I appreciate our tenacity. Now, you talk about showing up with no excuses. Now, those are Nigerians, because we have a very, very weak, because we have a very, very weak government. And so we deal with lack of electricity, and we deal with just nonsense. Absolute nonsense that shouldn't be happening in 2021. But Nigerians are very, very resilient. Anywhere that you find us, we are resilient, especially those who are still in Nigeria. I travel to Nigeria at least twice a year. I'm very, very much in touch with my roots, and I'm just so grateful.
I am so proud of everything that you're sharing. So the biggest takeaway from Nigerians, from your perspective, is the resilience and the not willing to give up type of thing.
No.
So they don't make excuses. They just make some things pop.
No, Nigerians do show up, and I mean, every Boston American can testify that we're the ones who work the long hours.
Very, very good. Very good. All right. Well, I mean, there you have it. So she has the best of both worlds, being a single child, being the only child in a house.
Yes, I do.
She had to become a leader and was forced to decide, how am I going to utilize my leadership? Am I going to be the person that just kind of folds under pressure? Or am I going to be the person that shows up and put my crown and tilt it properly and lead by example? And what she's also saying today that I really love is what people say about you and what people think about you. It does matter. Most people don't share that philosophy. I think it matters. And I know I want good, positive things to be shared about me and my life and my experience here on this earth and my example on this earth. I don't want to be a person that somebody's going around dogging out, for any reason. So let's see here. Kelly said, wow, just like that life. Man, we can't afford to make excuses, is what she said. Can you see that?
Yes.
I wasn't sure. Okay. Oh, my sister, you are preaching, is what Music by Phil says. The harder the test, the greater the reward, is what we're hearing from you, according to what Nancy has taken away. These are some great takeaways, everyone. So what in your life is some things that you've shared, ranging from scoliosis and all kinds of different things that you've experienced? What was the thing in your life that you felt would be a turning point for you to make these decisions to go all in, die empty, and have that philosophy? Because people don't always have that particular philosophy.
It was when my mother died. When my mother died, because my mother was very, very invested in women's ministry. She was a retired librarian. She was a pastor's wife. And I don't like to say pastor's wife because it takes away from that identity, but she was a co-pastor to my to their ministry, and she was active in the women's department. She was also a writer as well, and she was in HHA. And so watching my mother with her long hair, her light skin body, and her vibrance, watching her become a shell, because that's what cancer does. Watching her lose her hair, not even in patches, but completely gone. Watching her lose all of that weight, watching her to no longer be coordinated. This is a librarian, can no longer speak a straight sentence. Watching that I literally heard in my spirit one day when I was feeding her, I heard in my soul, I said, Omenesa, that's going to be you one day if you don't take your life by the horns. I heard it so clearly. This is how it's going to end. As a matter of fact, this is how it ends. Something must kill a man. This is how it ends. It could be diabetes. It could be, please, but something must kill a man. Okay. And some men have died by the hand of a woman. Something must kill a man. And you don't know what's going to kill you. And so what are you leaving behind? And so my zest now, it's on another level because I literally saw air just leave her. And I saw her corpse and I buried her. And I knew that one day I will bury my father. And I knew that one day I will bury myself. And I said, God forbid. And with heart palpitations, anxiety attacks, sleepless nights, hallucinations, pain from just losing so much, losing respect in ministry, losing children, losing love and intimacy in my marriage, losing being at a place in my life in my 30s when I shouldn't have been in those places because I was giving and giving and giving and pouring and pouring and pouring. And so I was mourning. I was in a place of mourning because I didn't pour into myself. So when my mother died, I hit rock bottom. There was no leverage. There was nothing. That was the turning point. I always said I was going to be a writer. When my mother died, I wrote a 600 and something page book. And I just finished my 7th book today. When my mother died, I registered that company that I had been hustling, and I started working that ministry. I started working that business. I was no longer hustling. When my mother died, I made sure that I will be her longevity.
Yes.
And then I decided that I would not sit down waiting for God to give me a child to mentor somebody. No, I found somebody who's a teenager and she doesn't have a clue of what I'm doing. But I'm pouring into her. She has no clue. She's a child. She's rolling her eyes. She hardly shows up. She's talking back. She doesn't have a clue. I did all of that with my father, so that's okay. She's gonna wake up one day and she's gonna understand.
Yes.
But I'm not gonna sit down and wait on God to give me children before I start thinking of my future. No. So if I could lose my mother in my 30s, then that means that life is very short. See, that told me, because naturally, basically, she's not supposed to leave at that time. But that told me that life is short. Things don't go as planned.
Right.
So things just don't go as planned. Like you hope for them to go as planned, but they don't go as planned, not all the time. And so that was the turning point in my life. I've always been tenacious. I've always been determined. Like I said, just that only child syndrome, like you're all you have. Like you were literally all you have. So I've had that in my mind, and I've made things happen. And of course, a lot of people have come through for me. I have a cousin who's come through for me. I've had church members who've come through for me. But the truth is that when I wake up in the morning, that's by God. But when I get out of bed, that is me. And I do get out of bed. So that's why I really give myself a lot of credit. And that's not out of pride. I just give myself a lot of credit. Like I've learned to do that. And so that's also a turning point for me, is learning how to celebrate myself, learning how to say, Omenesa, well done, girl. You you did a thing. You did a thing. And just now in my life, since I got this crown for 3 weeks now, I have learned a couple of things. What would Queen do? I've learned not to roll my eyes at people. I am an eye roller.
Okay. You have to put you front and center so I can see what this eye rolling looks like. So let me. I'm a big role play queen. I love role playing.
I am a Nigerian woman, and everything in my soul shows on my face. Like it shows.
Oh no! Are you not the person that even closes your eyes when you roll your eyes? You left them open.
No. Yeah. Like, and that is the battle or the conflict between being a Christian, being a queen, and being in the flesh, and being in a culture, because your culture is not a religion. You know, every culture has their thing. Like, we have some cultures that are passive aggressive. And so when you become a queen, which when you become royalty, when you recognize the power that you have, because I'm not just talking about a physical crown. When you recognize that you are a king or that you are a queen, you would have to put your religious dogma. You would have to put that down, and you have to put culture down. And now what would God want me to do? What would Queen do? So the rolling of the eyes had to stop, because I caught myself out. Like, I was on my way to Alaska, and I had the nerve to wear the crown at the airport, but I didn't have the nerve to act the part. So when people are like, oh my God, I'm like, what's wrong with that? And then I remembered, ooh, okay. And then I was so sleepy because that trip to Alaska was so far. I was sleeping in Seattle at the state that I had to do my layover, and I'm there like that, and I was like, Omenesa, queen, like, you can't be sleeping in public, so you're going to have to choose. Like, you take off the crown or you sleep. But
you gotta make a final decision here.
Yes, and so I have learned a lot of things. I have learned to smile and smile authentically. I have learned to let my light shine, allow the light of God shine through me. There was this lady who saw me with this crown, and she was like, ooh, your presence is so strong, your light. And she started crying. And I was like, see, Omenesa, see, you are a testimony. You are a testament.
You really
a total
are.
Stranger just looks at you and starts crying. And
we're all a testimony.
Yes.
We're all people are looking at our lives, and they want inspiration. They want encouragement.
They want to be inspired.
There's hope.
And all of that's in here. It shows. And I found that out. It shows. The other day, somebody literally tried to pick a fight with me, and I forgot that I was a queen. I completely forgot. When I was done, I was like, we can't have that anymore, Omenesa. Like, we can't. You know, like you actually seem to be doing better before you started wearing this crown.
That is hilarious.
You know, and that told me that to whom much is given, much is expected. And that has really, really become evident in my life now. Because now it's not just a quote from the Bible. Like, I'm literally passing through it.
So what is your formal title? Tell us your formal title. You're freezing a little bit, but that's okay. We're going to keep going. Tell us your formal title.
Mrs. Nigeria America. I came in as Mrs. Nigeria America, but I am Mrs. International Woman of Achievement. I really, really encourage a lot of women to get into pageantry. That is a big untold secret to the success of many women. Talking about sponsorship, about scholarship, about networking. It's in arenas like that. And I'm just so I'm really humbled. I'm very humbled. I have a whole year planned for my reign. I will be going to Cleveland. I will be going to Louisville, Kentucky, California, Atlanta, Florida, Nigeria, New York, Jamaica, Alaska, London, and Texas. And I was just nominated for an award. And so with being a crown and with being out there, there's something called visibility. And so your lifestyle and you would have to align with the title, because now you're visible even when you don't want to be.
That's good.
Even when you don't think that anyone is looking. Even when you don't think that anyone is looking. Respecting people has always been a thing of mine. Being compassionate has always been a thing. So that didn't catch me off guard. But listening to my body is something that I'm doing more now, because like I said, if the neck is no longer there, then there's no point, you know, and being very, very honest with my commitments. You know, so I'm just not saying yes anymore. Yes. No, I have somewhere to go, and there are people waiting on me, and the organization also has their expectations. So I have to make sure that I bring it.
Now, is this for 2022 or is it for what year? Because I put 2022. I want to put the right years. Is it 2021 and 2022?
Yes. So like we usually like talk about the year ahead.
That's
so
what I thought. So
I just got, yes.
That's what yes, I'm correct. From back in my pageant days. I used to be in my pageant days.
Yes, so I've had this crown since September 5th.
Okay. And so it's Mrs. Nigeria Dash America and Mrs. International Woman of Achievement 2022. So she holds the title to 2 crowns. And I do want to take you over to, is it okay to take them to your Facebook page?
Of course.
Okay. Some people say, no, that's my personal.
Yes, and my music, no.
But you're a public figure now, right? All right, let's go over here.
And my music is on my music is on YouTube. It's on all outlets. It's on Pandora. That's me there, and that's me and Mrs. Alaska American Jamie. That was in Alaska just 2 weeks ago.
You're so beautiful, both of you are. You're so beautiful. Oh.
Thank you so much. But my music is on all platforms. My books are on Amazon. And my coaching package, if you want me to coach you for your emotions, for your marriage, or for pageantry, like that's available as well. Okay. I'm available.
Now, and this is how you can get everything that's linked to Queen Omenesa. All you have to do is email her. And how do you say that so that I say it right? The Oruma, O. It's 4 O's. I know that, right?
Yes, OOORUMA@gmail.com. But really, the best way to reach me is on WhatsApp. WhatsApp number is +1.
Okay, let's
917.
WhatsApp. Okay. And what is it?
It's +1.
Okay.
917 349 7226. You were talking about me being a proprietress, and that's because I own a university called Emotional Healing University, and we run a lot of our programs on WhatsApp. So that's why I'm always on WhatsApp. It's just a lifesaver for me and my ministry and everything that I do. So the university is like we register you through WhatsApp. Even my counseling, my private practice, everything is registered through WhatsApp.
And you also have a podcast as well, your own show. So tell us about your show.
So I have a TV show called Emotions, and I also have a podcast called The Ring. And I just now inculcated an awards. Every December and every June, I now have what's called a Fighters Award in 10 categories. And so if you want to, and that's because then my show is called The Ring. So the awards is the Fighters Award. And if you want to nominate yourself or nominate somebody, please email me or DM me. My Instagram is @Omenesa_pearls, @Omenesa_pearls. It's actually in the package that I sent you. And then I have an organization called Pearls and Pulse International. We have 75 branches. We have our annual conference coming up in December in New York and in Abuja, Nigeria. And it's going to be the same day as December the 5th. And I'm really, really inviting everybody to come. But you have to be a member. If you are in America and you are in New York, you don't have to be a member. But if you are in Nigeria, you will have to be a member. Just hit me up on the WhatsApp number for membership. Hit me up on the WhatsApp for anything.
For anything. So if you want to connect with Omenesa, all you have to do is go, and this is correct, +19173497226 is her WhatsApp. She does all of her business through WhatsApp. So you definitely will have the right connection if you go there. And then if you want to email her and learn more also about the Linktree spells everything out, from her blogs to her website to her speaking engagements. You name it, you can find it right there on Linktree/Omenesa. Okay, so you're going to be able to stay connected with her. And I know you want to, if you want to continue to fix that crown of ours. Okay. All right. This is really good. All right. I mean, we've talked about a lot. I mean, I think we covered.
I know, like we're exhausted.
But I feel like I feel like I can just go on just a little bit further because I've encountered you. So once people encounter you, they get the opportunity to feel more encouragement and more inspiration to know that, look, stop making all of these excuses. Let's get going and see what God has in store for us. So I'm really proud of you. Very proud. Listen, we're going to take another commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to hear some closing thoughts from Queen Omenesa Oruma Akomolafe. I am so excited about hearing whatever it is that you're going to say as your closing comments. And thank you so much for taking my invitation to be here today. All right, let's learn more about attorney Charles Everidge from Hunter Everidge Law Firm.
I'm attorney Charles Everidge. I started out representing insurance companies until my father was seriously injured at work. 4 of his fingers were amputated. Our family went through a lot, so I know what you're going through as an injured worker. If you've been hurt on the job, call me now. I'll fight to get the workers' comp benefits you may deserve. I'll fight for you like family. Put my experience to work for you. Call 704-457-5000, the first call for injured workers.
Right, everyone, and we are back. I'm going to put all of the contact information over in the comment section, the blogs, the website, the phone numbers, everything that you need to know. Before we disconnect, I'll have it all put right there for you to be able to go to any of those entities that has already been shared by Queen Omenesa, okay? So what tip would you share for us, or words of encouragement would you leave us with today?
I will leave you with the encouragement, nothing happens in the grave. That's a single of mine that's now in my 4th album. So live your life, fulfill your dreams, write that book, get up on your feet, climb that mountain. You gotta reach high to the sky, 'cause nothing happens in the grave. No, nothing happens in the grave. Nothing happens in the grave. Nothing.
Wow, nothing happens in the grave. I'm typing that, in the grave. So we have to do it while we can work, while it is day in our lives. And Queen Omenesa is a person of an example to share this with us today. Nothing happens in the grave. You heard it right here from her on the Kim Jacobs Show. Also, you know what? They didn't get to know this, but I do think if we can squeeze it in, tell them how you've gone for some major performances over your lifetime. 7 times. Go ahead. I'll let you tell them. Tell them.
So I auditioned for American Idol 7 times. I was top 90 in Kentucky. And that was 7 times within, I think, like 3 or 4 years. I did Sunday Best 5 times. And the last try was in Detroit. And then I was semifinalist on Gospel Dream, which was in Nashville, Tennessee. And then I was a semifinalist on the Apollo. And then I was a 2nd runner-up on Wix Idol. And then I was 5th runner-up for Mrs. New York America. And I was number 1 for People's Choice. I raised the most funds. I raised $500,000 naira for Mrs. New York America. And now I just did the Women of Achievement, and I'm queen.
I am so excited. The contact information, again, we put it all there for you. So you don't have a reason why you cannot stay connected with this beautiful queen and learn from her even more about what queens would do in all manner of situations. As you can see, she said that as a queen, she's not making excuses. If you didn't take that point away, then you missed the whole show. She's not making excuses. She's going to do what she can to make things happen on this side of the earth instead of waiting and trying to do it in the grave or carrying stuff to our grave. She's going to die empty. and she encourages you to do the same thing. All of the information is here. Her website, her podcast, which is on Podbean, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast. But I'm gonna start speaking in tongues, y'all, because this woman of God has so much going on. And the thing that I think I enjoyed about what you just shared is you said I was 5th in this, and I was 4th in that, and I was 5 times this and 7 times that. You didn't say that you won each of those things, but you still shouted out your accomplishments. Why?
I shouted out the accomplishments because it's all a process. Everything is a process. Becoming a queen, it's not an event. It's a journey.
Girlfriend. I knew that was going to be your answer. I knew that was going to be your answer. That's why I had to get it in there. Okay, everybody, listen, we have to disconnect. We've been on for an hour. And I think that, do you think anything else could have been poured into this hour? Is there anything that you know how you're on a show, you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't get a chance to say this. Is there something you didn't get a chance to say that you really wanted to leave everyone with that you still say, Kim, don't disconnect till I say this? Is there?
I would really, really love for you, and thank you so much, Kim. I would really love for you to get my book, Nothing Happens in the Grave. I actually have a lot of books on Amazon, but that's very, very close to my heart. Nothing Happens in the Grave. And then if you want to prepare to do something major in your life, I will suggest that you get my book, How I Became a Pageant. And you could also get that on there. And if you are interested in pageantry, what I love about the particular system that I'm with now is that we have Miss, M-I-S-S, we have MS, we have Mrs., and we have Elite. That's from 50 and above. You don't have to own a business to be part of it, but you just have to be alive. And you have shown that you have come through. So please, if you are interested in being part of the Nationals in November, let me know. That's it, Kim. Thank you.
That's so good. And I'm glad we're going a few minutes extra because we started a few minutes behind anyway. So we need to capture that full hour. We only been on right now for 1 hour and 1 minute. That is incredible. So there are no excuses. If you want to learn more about poise, confidence, presence, image, how to articulate yourself, how to have this type of aura about you, definitely reach out to Queen Omenesa and let her work with you and train you to be able to be prepared for the pageants that's coming up in November. And how soon do they need to make that decision if they want to become a part of that process?
You could keep on making it until November the 19th. Like the event is November the 19th, 20th, and 21st. But I am a certified confidence coach. So I'm not only just coaching on pageantry, but even on speech and just showing up, just getting over that shyness and being very authentic with yourself.
That's really good. And there is also another book that you are a part of, and I dare
not. Yes, I see her.
we will get fleeced, and you know that if we do not talk about something that is near and dear to all of our hearts. And I'm building a legacy. Women who rise up, and even getting into the pageant was because of Dr. Sereno, and God will always send somebody right before the promotion, and you have to respect it. So Dr. Sereno, what does she do in your life that helped you want to become a part of this particular anthology?
So what she did and what she does. Yeah. So what she did and what she does is she does show up. She is the epitome of somebody who rises up. She rises up in the morning and she texts me a message that I was supposed to send because I'm procrastinating. She rises up and shows up in spite of what she feels and in spite of all the trials that she goes through. She rises up and she does the magazine and she does the book and she's a wife and she's a minister. She is the epitome of a woman who has risen and will continue to rise. And so when she contacted me, it was really, really an honor that I'm part of this anthology called Rise Up, Women Who Lead and Building a Legacy. And I just thought that it was really cool because she didn't even know that my platform is leaving a legacy. So I know she didn't know. So I know for a fact that it's a God connection. I was supposed to meet her when I met her, and I'm just so glad that she's my godmother.
Well, I am so grateful that you have blessed us with your presence today as the beautiful queen that you are. I absolutely love every picture that I've seen of you. And I've had so many. I've posted some of them as well. But I am so honored to have you here with us today and to be one of the 33 authors in the anthology Rise Up, Women Who Lead, Building a Legacy. And these women are all dynamic. I'm so grateful to be a part of this project as well. And thank you so much, Dr. Nefertina Serrano, for being our spearheader of this project and making this happen. All right, everybody. So I think I can't get any more in on the show, ladies. Let's see. Congratulations. Omenesa is what Dr. Nefertina said as well. She said, I love you both. Thank you and blessings to you as well. And tomorrow, everyone, we're going to have Freestyle Friday right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. And then also at 6 o'clock p.m., I will be a guest on Dr. Margaret Fournier's podcast, and we'll be talking about how I live through loss. And you definitely want to tune in to hear my philosophy on loss tomorrow when at 6 o'clock p.m., Health and Healing podcast. You can see it right there at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Queen Omenesa Oruma Akomolafe, you are a beautiful jewel, a beautiful blessing to this world. And I can't thank you enough for blessing us with your presence.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Kim.
Thank you. Okay, so everyone, that's our final piece for today. Make sure you connect with her on WhatsApp. If you connect with her there, you are connected. If you want to be in a pageant, connect with her. Don't sit around and say, can I do a pageant? Who knows? Until you get a chance to talk to the queen herself. Then you can make some determinations. You don't know what you're capable of doing until you have somebody that's a confidence coach that's pulling out that thing in you that's been lying dormant. Okay, let me get off. It's 917-349-7226. Connect with her and you won't regret it. I promise you. Mrs. Nigeria, America, and Mrs. International Woman of Achievement 2022. All of her contact information is right there in the comments for you. And we have truly been blessed today. On that note, I'm going to disconnect. And if you want to stay backstage, you're welcome to. And I'll talk to you for a minute right after we close out. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much. You're a beautiful queen and you wear your crown well. Continue to let your light shine on this earth. All right. God bless you all. See you at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Kim Jacobs Show.